And the fact that Schiff hasn't blinked since 1992. And he didn't take the news so well. The disgraced Democrat went on TikTok to complain. Behold.
Hello, I'm Congressman Adam Schiff with some troubling news. Today, Kevin McCarthy removed me from the House Intelligence Committee, all for doing my job, for holding Trump accountable and standing up to the extreme MAGA Republicans.
Senator Schiff, given the ongoing political tensions and Trump's actions toward his critics, do you think President Biden's preemptive pardons turned out to be more important than initially expected? Let's first tell people what that means, preemptive pardons. That was pretty unprecedented, right? Before he left office, Joe Biden pardoned you and a number of people who he thought Trump would go after.
No, I take the opposite view. I don't think he should have given the pardons at all.
Really?
No, I don't think he should have, and I was vocal about that at the time.
Can you refuse a pardon?
That's less clear because in the case of the January 6th committee, he pardoned.
All right, everyone, let's turn our attention to Adam Schiff. Lately, his name has been everywhere. The latest stir, a TikTok video that sparked widespread criticism. You might have caught it. In the clip, Schiff appeared visibly downcast as he shared that he had been removed from the House Intelligence Committee. But what led to this? According to him, it was his courage in holding Trump accountable and standing up against the so-called radical MAGA Republicans.
Schiff is not only a stone-cold, hopeless loser, but he is one of the most corrupt, one of the most shameful, one of the most heinous individuals ever to serve in public office in America. And everything he's devoted his life to has been debunked, discredited, and discarded. He literally represents the face of...
My first thought was, is this actually happening? That's how it hit me when I saw it. The whole scene came across more like a staged performance meant to draw sympathy than a genuine plea, but it gets trickier. What's uncertain is whether Schiff is simply playing another round of political blame games, even as he tries to cast himself as a political martyr.
We want to tell people what we're going to do for them. Healthcare, environment, those kind of issues. For example, I've seen you on TV a lot in the last couple of years. I know everything you know or that you tell us about the Russian situation. I don't have a clue what you think about healthcare. I've never heard it. Yeah. I don't know whether you're for Medicare for all or improve Obamacare or get a chicken. I don't know what. Yeah.
Let's be honest, Schiff has been at the center of plenty of controversies. On top of that, many are now questioning his trustworthiness. Either way, the whole situation sparks debate and leaves us wondering about his real motives. Is this all just a bid for attention, or is it about genuine accountability? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we continue to follow this story. It really brightens my day and keeps me motivated. You won't miss any of these unusual twists either. And believe me, we're only getting started. Now it's time to face the facts. What's really happening here, and what are the true consequences of this so-called political theater following Schiff's TikTok drama?
Something's got to be done for Adam Schiff, because he created 3 years of a massive fallacy that did so much damage to this country and made us miss probably one of the most important stories of our lifetime. We were having hearings on impeachment while the coronavirus was exploding. We talked about that virus in green rooms, but we had to do this impeachment story. We had to show these hearings. It's all on him, man. He's got to go. They got to investigate him. They got to hold him accountable. I'm not going to say he should go to prison, but my evil twin will say he should go away to prison for a very long.
Let's take a moment to rewind. Wasn't Schiff's TikTok supposed to be his signature move? It seemed all about getting caught up in political drama, but in reality, something more revealing was happening as he tried to cast himself as a political champion. Enter Bill Maher. No matter your political leanings, Maher is always blunt and direct. It quickly became clear that Schiff had stepped into an arena where words and spin are scrutinized intensely, especially when he appeared on Maher's show. Maher didn't sidestep the issue. He addressed it head on, as he always does. And what about the issues that actually affect people's daily lives, like healthcare and the environment? Suddenly, Schiff seemed uneasy. Trump and Russia have dominated headlines during Schiff's tenure, particularly over the past 3 years. Each year, he appeared on TV with dramatic claims and what he presented as evidence against Trump. But what happened once the cameras stopped rolling and the news cycle moved on? Over time, the tangible results were frankly hard to identify. Despite his rise to fame and household recognition, it's difficult to pinpoint what concrete accomplishments he delivered for his districts or the country. Maher didn't hold back. Adam, where do you stand on healthcare? He asked, a simple, straightforward question. Schiff struggled to answer concisely, prompting Maher to press further. Do you support universal Medicare and improved Obamacare or something else? That moment revealed the first cracks in Schiff's carefully curated public image. Many of his fans and even his critics had never heard him address these basic real-world issues directly.
Just looks like you're stalking him. I think in the eyes of the people who don't follow it that closely, which is most of the country, here's the thing about Bob Mueller. He's like the last person, maybe the last thing in America that left and right agreed on. Left and right basically agreed. This is a guy of honor. This is an honest guy. This is an honest broker. Whatever he says goes. Americans are not into details. Don't read it to me, Bob. Just give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. The fact that he was like, if you couldn't impeach before, how are you going to impeach?
Remember Schiff's long-running fixation on the Russia investigation, the endless hours before Congress, the repeated mentions of cooperation and collusion? It was almost nonstop. For a while, his devotion to the spotlight carried him, turning him into a prominent media figure. But when he faced someone unwilling to simply recite the usual talking points, Schiff appeared uncertain and off balance. This moment revealed cracks in the image he had meticulously built over the years. The implications go beyond late-night television drama. While Schiff's relentless focus on Trump and Russia grabbed headlines, it hasn't produced significant legislative or policy achievements. Yet it did raise awareness about critical issues. But awareness alone doesn't put food on the table or lower healthcare costs. Ordinary people care about the economy, rising prices, and access to affordable healthcare, issues that directly affect their daily lives. In this context, Maher's pointed questioning worked like a spotlight, exposing the disconnect between Schiff's media triumphs and the tangible results that voters actually need. What remains after all the headlines, investigations, and viral TikToks? Schiff's detractors argue that his priority has often been generating attention rather than delivering solutions. The spectacle of his political theatrics, while effective for news cycles and public attention, does little to address the problems that matter most to constituents. His story, full of intrigue and controversy, highlights a central lesson. Media prominence and political showmanship are no substitute for concrete action and accountability. Ordinary Americans, especially in times of economic uncertainty, need results, not sound bites. And in the end, that's where Schiff's record faces the most scrutiny.
I mean, the Mueller report is, at the end of the day, that firecracker that goes up and then the one that fizzles. Oh, look, nothing. Do you think you guys relied too much on that?
What does it say when a congressman spends countless hours criticizing Trump, but barely addresses pressing issues like healthcare, even as Americans, Californians in particular, struggle to keep up with soaring costs of living? The timing of Schiff's media appearances only adds to the question. As he vented on television, the country was changing rapidly, divisions ran deep, misinformation spread, and problems like economic uncertainty and healthcare access demanded more than fiery speeches. Yet, Schiff seemed focused on headlines rather than tangible solutions. This tension came into sharp relief during his encounter with Bill Maher. More than a simple confrontation, it was a wake-up call. Maher, a blunt, left-leaning voice, unafraid to challenge Schiff, pressed him on core issues voters actually care about, healthcare, economic stability, and everyday concerns. Schiff's struggle to provide clear answers exposed cracks in his carefully maintained public persona. For years, he had been celebrated for holding Trump accountable and dominating media cycles, but the encounter revealed a gap between spectacle and results. The lesson is clear. Constituents need leaders who produce measurable outcomes, not just attention-grabbing headlines. Schiff's critics argue that his platform has often been used to generate buzz rather than deliver substantive policy change. While his focus on Trump and Russia raised awareness, it achieved little in terms of real-world solutions, leaving voters to question whether media victories are worth the discord they create. Ultimately, Schiff's story illustrates the limits of showmanship in politics. The media spotlight can elevate a figure to household recognition, but without tangible accomplishments, credibility suffers. The public sees the discrepancy. Hours spent on rival criticism versus time spent addressing the issues that impact daily lives. Schiff now faces a reckoning as curiosity about his record meets the reality that raising awareness is not the same as producing meaningful change.